Right guys, this is likely to be the final video, but that might change. Depends how motivated I am, how much energy I got. It is 5 to 10 at night and I'm starting to flag a little bit, but let's keep going then. So we need to assemble all the parts, all the components, put it all together. Just like we would do in a workshop, we've made all the little parts. We now know to, like I say, build it, put them all together, and that's what we're going to do in our assembly tab. So click on your assembly tab, click on the insert button, and you are going to start with the base. I'm going to double click on the base. The reason I double click on the base is because it sets it. I'm going to do that again. Sorry, let me do it again. Insert base. I'm going to click once and then I'm going to green tick. The reason I do that is it fixes it to the origin for you, and that's quite nice because you can then set things up around there. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on that base and I'm actually going to fix it in place so that base can't move until we tell it to. So I've got that set up. Now I'm going to bring in the other parts. I don't mind where these go for the time being. So there's that anchor, I called it, and I'm going to bring in one for the time being, 2 arms, and I'm going to bring over my nut bolt, green tick. Okay, so there's all my parts. So now what I need to do is I need to use these tools at the top here. Now I've just lost my mouse a little bit. These are our mating tools. So these are how we get the components to come together and work together. They mate one another. So I'm going to start with this anchor, and I want to fix this down to our base. I'm going to use my fasten mate for this because it doesn't need to move. It's a bit like glue. We're just going to stick it there. So look at my fasten mate. I find that mating tools in Onshape can be a little bit fiddly. It takes perseverance. It can be frustrating. You're just going to stick with it. What will help you is if you start to really zoom in on the parts that you're working with and use the right button on your mouse, click and hold it, to really start to move your viewing around. So I want to get right on the bottom of this, in the center, and that blue line is key. That blue line wants to be pointing directly away from where I'm fixing it to. So I'm going to click my mating tool, my fasten mate there, and I want it again. You can see the blue arrow needs to be pointing away from the material. Bang, solve, green tick. There we go. So that's in place. Now if we've done this right, if I actually revolve around, yeah, you can see those little pilot holes that we've drilled into the anchor actually correspond with the through holes that we've drilled on the base and countersunk. So that's that bit done. I'm happy with that. Let's go and put the arms on. So for this one we're going to use a cylindrical mate. We're not going to use a fasten mate because we do need it to rotate. So cylindrical mate. Let's get this out of the way so you can see exactly what's going on. So I want my blue line, I want it on the edge. Sometimes you can move it into the sort of centre. I don't want it in the centre. I want it on the edge here. Blue line pointing away from the material. Green tick. And I'm going to put that one. I've got it perfect there. Again, blue line's pointing away. I want it on the edge of the circle here. And let's get that one over. There we go. Solve, green tick. So the reason we use cylindrical mate for this one is if I now left click on the item, I can swing that arm around and it's fixed around that hole. So that's how the arm is going to move in real life. So we need to do exactly the same with the second arm. So cylindrical mate. In we go, zoom in. Blue line pointing away from the material, edge of the circle. Come out, down onto here, blue line pointing away, edge of the circle, solve, tick. And again, using this tool here, I can now orientate them. So I can set the angle. Let's say I want it to be 75 degrees. I can click enter. I can do exactly the same for this one here. There we go. So they're all lined up nicely. Next, we want our nut and our bolt to go in the bottom here. So let's do our bolt first. So I'm gonna use a cylindrical, mate. Do I want to use Revolute, mate? No, we'll go with cylindrical, mate. So I've chosen the base of the head, blue line pointing away, and I want that to be so I can flip it around. There we go. Solve. So there's the bolt in there. All I need to do now is mate the nut on the end here. Again, I'm going to use a cylindrical mate. There are some fancy things you can do with nuts and bolts. We're not going to do it today. We might do it later on, where you can actually sort of animate it so that the bolt, the nut screws along the bolt. If we have time, or if some people have finished, that's something I'll get you maybe to do. So I'm going to click on. Remember, it's fiddly. It usually allows you 3 places in which to set your mate from. So you can see there with the little white dots. If I move my mouse back over here, white dots. Come on, there you go. So I've got one there, one in the middle, one at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to choose this top one, and the blue line is pointing away from the material. It's fiddly, persevere. That one there is then going to go, and it's going to sit on my bolt. Come on. Oh, again, fiddly, fiddly, fiddly. I keep getting it. Oh, there we go. Now it's not quite where I want it to be. Now what you can do is... I won't let me do it this one. I'm going to have to redo that. Let's try that again. Where's mine? I've lost my nut. Right, let's try again. Right. Cylindrical mate, let's try one more time. If it doesn't work, I'll deny. That on there. It's not working, is it? Yeah, okay, let's try that one more time. I'm going to use a Revolute, mate. Let's try that one instead. Let's try this side of the bolt, see what happens. That's better. So, green tick. So there you go. You can start to see now how we are assembling our desk lamp. I haven't finished. It's not finished. So I would then need to come to insert. I need to insert another arm. I need to insert another nut and bolt. And you can see I will start to mate these two together. Let me start that process, and then I'll hand it over to you guys to finish it off. So let's use our cylindrical mate. Let's move this out of the way. Blue line pointing away from the material, edge of the circle. That edge has got to line up with this edge. So we're in there. And again, just to show you, I can click on the arm, and using this one here, I can change that angle, which is what we'll be able to do with the physical product that we produce. And then we can put the bolt through here. So I'm going to use cylindrical mate. I'm going to choose the base of the head. That's going to go on there. I'm going to flip it round. Solve, green tick. And then we're going to use our, I used before Revolute mate for the nut, and I chose the bottom of it. So that side of the bolt, and I said that's going to mate with this part. Come on, blue line pointing away. Frustrating. It hasn't worked that one. Might need to do it again. Revolute mate. Let's try the top this time. No. Still getting tired. Let's try again. Okay. Before, when I was putting this bolt in and then trying to get the nut to mate and I couldn't do it, I was looking to see this offset, but it wasn't there. This time it's there. I'm not exactly sure why it wasn't there before, but that's what I was looking for. So with this offset, what it means you can do is you can move the piece before you say that's exactly where I want it to be. So if I click the offset, now my Z-axis is the blue line, and I want it to move this way a little bit. So if I type in, and this is too far, if I type in 10 millimeters, you can see it moves along that Z-axis a little bit. So I'm gonna just use a bit of trial and error and just set it to 5. Okay, and I'm quite happy with that. So solve, green tick. Alright, so there is the second bar of my lampshade, desk lamp, all mated together. I mean, I haven't got the bolts the right way, not the right way around, but that could be intentional in your design because they will stick out slightly. So this one sticks out on this side and then it goes that way. I don't know, depends if you're OCD or not. But there you go. That is that part. When you get to that part, I will explain what you need to do. Is you're going to then start to actually create more of the design yourself. Think about USB cable. We've done that before when we designed our we made those phones. We created the charging cable. We need to create sweep paths. We need to create circles, extrude it along the sweep path. Think about your cable management. Where are you going to put the cable? How is it going to be kept out of the way, nice and tidy? Think about creating the USB port for the cable. And importantly, you also need the strip light, so you can create or create a component that looks like a strip light. Lots to do, lots to get on with. As always with Onshape, the more you do it, the easier it becomes, the quicker you get at it, and the better you become. Persevere, keep going, have some fun, and we'll leave it there for a minute. Thank you.